So we've talked about your vision and where you're headed on the money side, but you really talk about your why a lot. And I think that's inspiring, and I'd love to dig into that. Yeah. So you talk about 5 freedoms that we should address in our journey as human beings, not just as real estate investors. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I would love to. Jeremy, I have a business coach. His name is Trevor McGregor. He's well known in the industry. He articulated to me something that I knew, but I never knew how to get out in words. And that is that we can be dramatically happier in our lives. And by the way, I learned over time that money was not the answer. Money's not the answer. It's not. Yeah. If money was the answer, then Robin Williams would still be with us. I always give that example because I miss that guy.
Yeah.
And he had 350 million reasons to stick around, and he didn't.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Yeah.
What my coach taught me was financial freedom. Here are the 5 freedoms: financial freedom, time freedom, geographic freedom, which I'll talk about, which is where the 96 countries come in, freedom of purpose, and freedom of relationships. If we can focus on one or more of those things, we tend to be happier as people. And let me give you an example. We've clearly talked about the financial freedom aspect, right? Having more passive income than your expenses.
Yeah.
But I'll take it a step further. A friend of mine is an attorney. We went to high school together. She saw me make a post on Facebook about the fact that we had closed on a 100-unit apartment complex. She's like, Maurice, there's no way I can do that. And I said to her, because she's a nonprofit immigrant rights attorney in California dealing with farm workers. And I submitted to her, I said, hey, you are already freer than most in this world. And she said, what do you mean? Because I said to her, because you get up every single day and you do this immigration law for folks who need it and advocating for folks who need it. Your mother did it. Your father did it. Your father did it with Cesar Chavez, which is an interesting lineage.
Yeah.
She loves what she does. So I submit to her that she has freedom of purpose and is happier getting up every day than the people who make $250,000 going to a law firm, sitting in a corner office, who are dreaming about doing something different. So in everything that I have done, I have just figured out those 5 freedoms. Financial freedom, we talked about. Time freedom is really supported by passive income because you're divorcing your need to physically be somewhere to make money. I would rather make $5,000 a month passively than make $300,000 a year non-passively and have to be in an office in DC anymore. It's just not where my head is at anymore. Yeah. The geographic freedom I learned the geographic freedom stuff listening to Tim Ferriss. He has a formula in the 4-hour work week. Freedom equals time plus mobility. We know where time comes from, passive income or some other things. But the mobility piece is I have totally virtualized my businesses. I don't receive physical mail anywhere. I don't buy a lot of consumer goods. I can pick up this laptop and my cell phone that's to my left and disappear and go to a country for 3 months and everything will run itself. I have freedom of movement because I don't have a lot of crap. Yeah. And I'm going to keep it that way. That includes, by the way, I don't want employees, even though we're scaling. Employees I don't want. Purpose we talked about, and then relationships is the ability for me to connect with someone like you. If there's anything stopping me from connecting with someone like you, like my job keeps me at the office for 20 hours a day, or I'm in a toxic relationship or something like that. We need people to expand as our own people. So that's kind of how I run my life. And that's why I think I've been blessed from a business perspective, blessed from a travel and connecting with people all over the world perspective. And then that's why I do things like be a police officer, because I want to have freedom of purpose, and my purpose is giving back to people. So I know that was long-winded, but that's kind of where my mind has gone over the years.
So you structure your life as a whole, and that's sort of the work-life balance, the business-life balance around these 5 freedoms, and many of them play off of the passive income.
Correct. Yeah.
So the financial plays off the plays off of the passive income. Time is really about that passive income, creating that space to be able to do it. Geographic, I love because we can all imagine, oh, yeah, maybe get up and move. But as we think about our businesses, I know I run, a business with 6 or 7 employees, and I have created it and made it virtual. So I feel like I have some of that geographic freedom. But it took time to shift from where I was at 3 years ago to where we're at now. And that's an active choice to create that geographic freedom for yourself. And so that makes a ton of sense. And you even said not having employees, which I don't know that we have time to dig too deep into, but I think that's very interesting, like how you solve some of the things, because it seems like time and not having employees would potentially conflict with each other, right? Because sometimes you can have team members. Well, I guess maybe we can dig a little bit. Like, how do you solve that for things as you scale? What's your plan to make sure you're not stuck in an office doing things you don't want to do?
Well, yeah. So, I have business partners, obviously, Quattro Capital. We have 5 managing members, and then we have 3 what's called alliance partners, people that we have aligned with, that we will always sponsor them in deals because they have like-minded values and we want to work with them. But from an internal scaling perspective, we can hire our property management firms. We can hire virtual assistants. My partner, Chad, is extremely good at setting up IT infrastructure. So everything we do rides off of Google's network.
Yeah.
We use notarize.com. We use Earth Class Mail to digitize our mail. We use Syndication Pro to handle our investors' profiles and what have you. Yeah. So from a business perspective, it's very easy. But it is making a conscious choice. I'm making a conscious choice not to get to a certain level if I want to, because my value is not creating an office in Washington, D.C., where I live, that has my name on the side of the building. Mm-hmm. My value is the next time Jeremy hits me up, he says, "Hey, Mo, where are you?" I'm going to tell you, "Hey, Jeremy, I'm in Cyprus working on this real estate deal because this is where I want to be right now." Right?
I love that.
So I will do work. I will do deals. I will stretch myself as a business person and as an individual, but not to the point where I am trapped in one particular location.
I love it.
And I do want to say one more thing, just real quick.
Yeah.
The thing about the mobility and the geographic freedom, and why I've been to 96 countries, is because when we do get to our adulthood and we get out into the corporate world or whatever it is that's your profession, we tend to do this thing where we press repeat every day. We were never doing that in grade school, high school, college. There was always some new challenge. And then now we get into this point of like, we get into this racket of, okay, we got to get up. It's real world, but we got to get up. Yeah. We got to get in the car. We got to go to the office. It's a 9 to 5. We got to come home. We got to kiss the kids, do the homework, press repeat, da da da.
Yeah,
I get it. But the way that we can put ourselves in constant learning mode is by immersing ourselves in things that we have no idea about. And the way that I do it is by traveling and immersing myself in different cultures and countries.
I love that. And I think you said that really well, because someone who's listening and says, man, I am in that cycle that Mo's talking about. Like, I feel like that's problematic. It's like, that's okay. All of us are in some version of a cycle. Mm-hmm. It's more the question of how are we creating our goals? How are we creating where we want to go with our life, so that whatever your repetition is, it's the repetition you chose, not the repetition you're stuck in.
Yeah, man.
Whatever your challenge is, it's the challenge you chose, not the one that you're stuck with,
and not the one society told you to do.
Yeah.
So I've just kind of developed over this way. Not saying a 9 to 5 is wrong. No way. Mm-hmm. If being a lawyer is your passion, then you have freedom of purpose. If you want to be the CEO of a company, fantastic. That's your thing. I think where the people struggle is when they get into that rhythm just because that was what was defined for them. So back to real estate, generating passive income just gives you so many options of what you want to do in this life, which typically lasts about 28,000 days. And if you see it from a day perspective, the way that I monitor it, I know how many days I have left on this earth in general, and I'm only going to spend it doing the things that I want to do.
Hey, Jeremy here. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it created some clarity for you and zoomed you in on what action steps you actually need to take to succeed in real estate. If you haven't done so already, please head over to reiclarity.com and download our 9 action step framework. I believe that every real estate investor needs to take these 9 steps to succeed at the financial freedom they want to create for themselves. So if you haven't downloaded that already, please head over and get that at reiclarity.com. All right, until the next time, have a wonderful day.